Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? My name is Sal, and I'm back here again. We're going to be breaking down this Friday 7-game slate in the NBA Daily Fantasy Streets. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. We're getting a lot of growth, so a lot of new people. I want to make sure to welcome you. What I do is I cover daily fantasy sports, NFL, NBA, MLB, in this realm, and I want to just give you overwhelming value, right? I want to set you up early in the day for the NBA to know what the slate looks like without having to spend an hour or two researching it. I want to give you every single thing that you need. It's every single thing that I use early in the morning and to start your DFS process. Look, a lot of this stuff is going to change, especially the thing over my shoulder right now, the injury news. But it's good to have this early in the day. Some of the stuff won't change, like the target offense sheet will go through. The early interests show you what the slate is looking like, at least from my eyes, early in the day. If you're a returning subscriber, you know how much I appreciate you. Can you please hit me with that thumbs up button? It lets new people see this video. It pushes up the rankings a little bit. And if you're returning, or if you are a new subscriber, or if you're somebody who's just here and checking it out, please hit me with that thumbs up if at any point you get value from this. Consider subscribing. We're like 50 subscribers away from 3,000. I'll be doing a giveaway at 3,000. I'll be throwing a party, Yahtzee, rolling the dice, whatever it is at 3,000. We're going to have a good time. Hopefully that comes maybe by the end of today if we get lucky. So we're going to be covering this like we usually do, injury breakdowns or looking at the dashboard for the injury news that we have so far. Then we're going to be going and looking at the matchups in terms of just teams overall in target offense. And then we'll look at specific players that are catching my eye early on. Look, these guys are not picks. They're just catching my eye early on. A lot of the things will change based on the injury news. So a couple of just plugs that we have before we start this. We're broadcasting on Twitch right now. We have about 20 people in the live chat right now just hanging out. I show my results from the night before on my main cash lineup. In there, we just chat, I answer questions. So make sure to come down below, check that out. We're getting more and more questions about the projections, which you can see it says player projections maybe down here. That's it. If you want to go over to Patreon, you can get the player projections. You can get FanDuel, Draftkings, both. I also do coaching calls. All of these proceeds that I'm making are going straight towards my student debt. I sort of have it automated to do that now. Just so if I can get that student debt number down, I could literally do this as a full-time job after college. So that's my whole goal. If you want those projections, you can check them out. They're $7.99 for the projections, which is like 25 cents a day, which if you're winning anything through them, then that's a pretty good return on your investment, I would say. And then finally, I just want to shout out just the whole community in general. The Discord has been growing. It's been absolutely phenomenal. This is the Discord right here. We're up to now 165 people in here. We're just chatting it up. Right now it's NBA. We got some people lurking around in the MLB chat, golf chat, a little bit's popping. So yeah, come on in there. Whatever sport you like, NASCAR, whatever it is, come on in there. NBA, it's a huge help. You'll never miss the injury news. Next week I'm going on spring break. I'm going to rely a lot on the group to keep me up on injury news. I'll be looking on my phone, but I'm going to be relying a lot on the group to sort of just keep me up, keep me refreshed with the NBA for the couple of days that I won't be as into it. I'll still be into it, still be doing the projections and stuff, but not as number fire right on it. So let's start it off, gang. With that, let's start it off. Make sure to check out the projection sheet if you would like it. Definitely hit up the Discord. All that stuff is linked below. So injury news. A couple of decent injury news today. We have this filtered by team. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's supposed to be back today, and he was a baller once he left. So now you have D'Angelo Russell, who is going to be priced up, with LeVert back, who hasn't been the greatest, and now Dinwiddie back. That's going to hurt all three of them, I imagine. Dinwiddie is not even priced down. He's 5,900. I imagine he's going to come back with a minutes limit. I have him right now without any news around 20 minutes. I don't know what that is. I don't know if the cap's there. It's just sort of a safe number for the projections right now. So keep that in mind. It's going to hurt every single one of those guards. Joe Harris as well. Napier becomes absolute dust now for a guy who was still getting good usage before LeVert, and now Dinwiddie came back. Evan Turner remains out. They said he missed a few games. It's no real big deal here. You just get a bunch of dust. Mo Harkless had a great game last time out. He got increased minutes when Turner was out. Rodney Hood should see some. Leonard, whatever you want to do there, it's really just a dart throw. Better on FanDuel. All those guys will be impacted. The biggest news as of right now that we're waiting on is Devin Booker. He came out questionable with a toe. That seems like something you don't mess around with in basketball, a toe. If he's out, we're going to get point guard Tyler Johnson's going to get an increased usage bump here. Going up against New Orleans, a decent matchup at the point guard spot. You're going to get Kelly Oubre. You're going to get Josh Jackson. All these guys are going to get big increases in their usage, especially Josh Jackson. I don't have that as impacted players, but just note that Josh Jackson's usage, it just kind of goes up through the roof without Devin Booker out there. His splits are way better. When he was coming off the bench, he had a little bit better splits than when he got put into the starting lineup because he wasn't playing as much with Booker. So TJ Warren remains out. Again, Josh Jackson, Kelly Oubre, Bridges will all be affected. The next couple of guys don't matter too much. Terry Rozier, Aaron Baines, they'll only matter if some guys get ruled out. Aaron Baines is out. If Terry Rozier, the only way that his injury status really matters is if a guy like Kyrie Irving gets ruled out. It's going to make Bradley Wanamaker or whatever just completely pointless now. Marcus Smart's point guard minutes would go down as well. Daniel Theis is questionable. This is decent news. I mean, he's getting mid-teens, upper teens some nights minutes, and if he's out, it's going to solidify a guy like Al Horford, whose minutes the last 2 games or so have been somewhat shaky. It's going to solidify those minutes a little bit more against a very nice matchup in Washington. And then the next guys are just dust. They're just the only news we have. Chandler remains out. Lance Stevenson will be out. Bumped from maybe Mike Muscala, Josh Hart, Bullock to an extent. And then George Hill remains out. This is going to solidify more minutes at the point for Malcolm Brogdon. And Isaiah Cannon as a backup to Bledsoe, the starting point guard as well. No back-to-backs today. 7-game slate, so it's interesting. 14 teams, none on a back-to-back. So in terms of just older players like a Horford, whoever it might be, seeing limited run due to a back-to-back, the back end of it, there's no back-to-backs. So that's the injury news. Quickly, before we go over to target offense, just want to shout out right here, Giraffe Dashboard. We've talked about them pretty much since the inception of this channel. I still use them. Draft Dashboard is just good for reducing your research time, right? That's what I use it for. I cross-reference it with my own projections just to see sort of what they have at their projection points. You can see they have a projected points right here. They have the value like we have in our projections, like you'll see in the early interest. Ownership comes out a couple times throughout the day. It's pretty good. I mean, you could filter it by position. You could watch the players right here. What this does is it gets them in your player pool. Very good to be having a player pool, housing people in there so you know what you're basically looking at on the day. You can then go into watch players. You can mess around with who you have. These are just obviously quick examples. I'm not really interested or don't know if I am yet in any of these guys. You can then use their lineup optimizer to make lineups, get it, see what's going on. It'll make all ones automatically for you, but you can set it up so it only uses the ones in your player pool. And then they have a cheat sheet that comes out throughout the day and just shows you best plays, things like that. Just if you're quickly looking at it and that's something that you like or you need. I personally use it just for the research time, but they do have a lot more stuff on here. So definitely check it out. The thing that I like about it is they are running a promotion, 30 days for $1 down below. If you have any trouble with that, if you're not getting it for $1 or so the free sign up as well for 30 days, let me know. We can definitely talk to the guys over there. But yeah, free or the link down below if you want it in the Discord or if you want it in Twitch, it's !dashboard. So that's Draft Dashboard, a sponsor of this video, been a sponsor for a long time. Just want to see me grow, and obviously we love that. We appreciate that. So let's go over to target offense and we'll chat. Here's your target offense, gang. 14 teams. For those of you that are new, we just go over pace, which is possessions per game. The more pace, the more possessions, the more fantasy points. We look at the totals. And then this color, nice chart lit up like Christmas Day maybe a little bit, is the Draftkings points allowed over the last 30 days to a position. I want to slowly start utilizing the last 30 days in a lot of my things, in minutes, in points per minute. It's just more of a refresher. It takes into account coaching changes and guys being injured. That's something that with the data, I want to just fine-tune a little bit. It's definitely nothing that's going to obscure anything by a lot or skew it, but I think it'll fine-tune it. But that's what we have right here. I like that data fresh over the last 30 days. But let's talk about it, right? Let's see if we can filter this. I'm not sure if it'll work for me. We use Google Sheets for all of this data stuff, and to be completely honest with you, Google Sheets is nice, but kind of buns. There we go. Oh, nope, it messes everything up. Yeah, so it's like all filtered and coded, so if you mess up the order, stuff gets messed up. So, anyways, yeah, if you want to look at pace and just games like that, we can see right here, and this will be in the Discord, so make sure to join. I'll drop this in there. You can see Toronto and Portland have the highest pace, almost 107 possessions per team. That doesn't correlate with the highest over-under, though, which is something we usually are used to. It only is a 227. Note that I say only a 227 over-under. 227 is the lowest over-under on this slate as of last night. I don't know if any of that's going to change. Lowest. We're going to have points tonight. I love slates like this. It's just hard to really go wrong. 227 points. I say that I like 220 points as an over-under point. 227 is the lowest. We have a 240 over-under. Sacramento and the Clippers. Clippers, a team that's really hard to really get right in terms of picking guys, right? They have good players, but in terms of fantasy, who can you rely on? Sacramento, they have a decent amount. They might have the best play as of right now on the slate on their team today. You have the Lakers and Milwaukee, the hammer game. Loads of options in this game from both sides of the ball. 237. 237 and a half. And also that Lakers pace is up around 104 possessions per game. Atlanta and Chicago. Atlanta, the nosebleed to all positions. We can see right here. We've been picking on Atlanta against the guards, specifically the point guard position. Well, the point guard right now is Chris Dunn. Not the greatest of point guards, but a guy who can definitely light it up, especially with an easy matchup. He's in a game that has 105 pretty much pace and a 230 over-under. You got to like that. Let's go to 231. Boston versus Washington, a game that I actually have some interest in, and a game that I really, really like for fantasy in terms of, you guys know I love Al Horford, and we'll get to this, but power forward center eligible. The guy's not priced up. He might have a minutes floor increased here if Daniel Theis is out. He's going to have a great matchup against Washington, even if Bobby Portis Jr. starts. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm not worried about Thomas Bryant. This is a good spot for Horford as of right now. Washington, the other side of the ball, there's just many guys that you can pick from. A lot of guys, pretty much everybody on Washington's always been playing DFS, whether it's Trevor Ariza, whether it's Jeff Green, whether it's Portis or Bryant or Beal, obviously. Thomas Satoransky to an extent, although he has a tough matchup, which we'll get into. You can see right here, Boston is decent against that point guard position, if not great over the course of the year, when Irving's data is all filtered in and not out. So yeah, this is just the way you read it. The green means good. I think that this is a fun slate, and you can see by the fact that there's going to be a ton of points, a ton of fast-paced teams going at it. Usually we see a team below 100 on here. Maybe it's Memphis, whoever it might be. The pace is all over 100. The season average is 102, a little over 102. So, I mean, only 1 or 2 games below the season average, and they're right there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a track meet today. Even Brooklyn and Charlotte is a good game in terms of real basketball, right? I love this Brooklyn team. I love watching them. The fact that they have Dinwiddie back now murks the waters for them, sure. But it also just makes the game more fun. Charlotte, I have some interest on that side. Let's move over to those interests. Again, these are early interests. None of what I'm about to show you indicates by any means, and let me fill out who Phoenix is playing today. So this can all automate for us. New Orleans, that's why they're not popping up as NO. There we go. So, yeah, pretty much these are early interests. A lot's going to change. Somebody mentioned in the Discord yesterday, well, Sal, don't these early interests from earlier, they don't matter anymore? And pretty much, yeah, you're right. But this gives you an early look at what the slate's looking like. If a lot of injury news like yesterday's one of the days that that's the most injury news you'll get in terms of high-profile players, in terms of things getting all messed up. But for the most part, this is going to give you a good look at the slate. If not a lot of injury news breaks, this is going to hold pretty true. But keep in mind that I'm looking at this the night before, the morning of, and I'm not looking too detailed because it's the morning. I'm not going to put all my effort into early interest because a lot of them are probably going to change. I make this early interest chart in probably 10 to 15 minutes. I go through, I look at the matchups, I look at the totals, I look at the pricing, and I make a quick, am I interested or not? Does this stick out in my head like, that's something I like, and I write it down, or is that something I don't like, and I write it down and I'll talk about it. So, we'll start it off. Early interest. I think Willie Cauley-Stein right now is by far, in a way, the best play on this slate. Some things can change with injury news, but yeah, I think he's the best play. Marvin Bagley is going to be out for a few weeks, if not more. They're optimistic a few weeks. Willie Cauley-Stein is $4,500. He's going up against the best matchup in basketball against the center position over the last 30 days in the Clippers. Zubac is nothing. He is dust. He cannot defend much. Willie Cauley-Stein had his minutes earlier in the year hovering around the low to mid-30s, and those have come down with the emergence of Marvin Bagley, who has been getting mid-30s. Willie Cauley-Stein now is getting mid-20s. I think Willie Cauley-Stein, I have him in for 30 minutes right now for this game for my projection purposes. Again, if you want the projections, everything's right here. You can't see my value or points. That's for the people who want to pay. But one more plug, you can hop right over to the projections right here, and this is where you would get them. So projections right here, Patreon link down below, check it out for sure. But yeah, I have him in right now for 30 minutes, and I think that that's probably being light. I think that 32 minutes is more realistic. But if I give him 32 minutes, he just absolutely pops in the projections. And you guys have already seen that with 30 minutes, how much he's projected for. And I don't think it's not fair. He's going up against the Clippers. And if he gets those minutes, based on him being a 1.07 point per minute guy with no Bagley behind him and no real confidence in guys behind him, I think it's just a smash spot, and it's pretty much that simple. Al Horford, you guys know I love him. Power forward and center eligible. If you're new here, we like to get as many centers in our lineup. The fact that he's power forward eligible lets us do that. And he has a very good matchup against Washington. Since they got Bobby Portis, since they got Jabari, it's increased a little bit. Their bigs have gotten better. They shipped out Otto Porter, and they got 2 decent bigs. So the rebounding isn't as much of a worry, but it's still there. I love him at his price. The man never comes over $6,700. He's a smash play at that price point, I believe so, as of right now. Chris Dunn, we mentioned. Chris Dunn, great matchup against Atlanta. Not a guy I really ever like to play, but at $5,500 and this matchup, it feels good. Zach LaVine also there for the same reason. Atlanta just struggles against the guards in general. Something happens for some reason with Chris Dunn, and you get Zach LaVine or Aaron Sonato, whatever his name is. They become better plays. Cody Zeller against Brooklyn, another spot we pick on against bad rebounding teams, bad rebound efficiency. Cody Zeller has been playing 30-plus minutes now in this offense with Kemba. I like that at $5,800. I like that a good amount. Marcus Morris, another guy who against Washington should see some benefit if they're going to start Jeff Green. That's a good matchup, positive for Morris. Not a guy I have a ton of interest behind early, but his price makes it nice. Big Bad Anthony. Let's keep it PG for the chat. We don't know who's in here. But Big Bad Anthony MF and Davis. There we go. We lost the PG. I'm putting him in red. He's $6,800. This man might play 15 minutes tonight and just burn you. If you're putting him in cash, I mean, more power to you. It's probably not going to work out. Tournament, so 6,800. This is becoming interesting. The guy, if he goes for his 25 minutes, the upper part of his minutes limit, he could very easily go for 50 points in 25 minutes. He's probably the most capable guy of doing that. 2 points per minute. That's very capable for him. 50 points with 6,800 is a goddamn smash in tournaments. It's going to be interesting what his ownership looks like, who's going to be coming on him. Josh Jackson, $5,000. I do like that a good amount. If Kelly Oubre's out or if Devin Booker gets ruled out, I like that a lot. Gilchrist Alexander, SGA, set 3,500. It's a great matchup against Sacramento. Pace up spot, highest pace on the slate. Not a guy that I'm dying to get into any lineups, but 3,500 makes him very, very viable. Chris Middleton has the best matchup in that game with Milwaukee and the Lakers at the small forward position. Should not get LeBron on him. I don't think he should get LeBron on him. If he does, it quickly becomes not a good matchup. 6,300 Kyle Kuzma is just too cheap. I think that he's just on average going to be scoring that. He's going to be getting his 32.5x for you. I do like that. Kelly Oubre, I only like a little bit more if we get Booker out. Sure, he can go off in any format, but I only like him a little bit more if we get Booker out. Kemba Walker. Kemba at 8,200 is a very good price, especially against Brooklyn. He's underpriced. This is saying that he is priced at 42 fantasy points. I don't see why that's out of the question. I don't see why that's as a median not right around there. I don't know what I have him projected at. I don't have my projections up on my other laptop, but I'd say it's pretty close to that. Julius Randle at 8K, I believe. Yeah, he's going up against Phoenix here, and Phoenix is just, look, if Anthony Davis had his minutes today and he was $1,100, he'd probably be my favorite play on the slate, or whatever he was, right? If he had his normal minutes, or even 30, because you're going up against Phoenix, who's just a nosebleed. Karl Anthony Towns threw up like 26 and 14 on them in a half the other day. Went berserk. But we don't know who's going to be the center for this team because Anthony Davis is just going to chew away 20 pointless minutes for the most part in terms of getting fantasy value. If you get news, like we've had I think 2 times in the past 2 weeks, that Julius Randle starts at the 5 tonight against Phoenix, and he's going to get 30-plus minutes, most of which are at the 5, it's a no-brainer for me. You get another center in your lineup, probably one of the best matchups on the slate, and he's just an absolute force. Yeah, that's just the news I'm waiting for, really, is lineups. And obviously, we're going to get more late news. So that's that, gang. Again, thank you for tuning in. 7-game slate, it's fun. Covered a lot. I know I talk fast, so if you want to comment that, feel free. I really don't know how to stop talking fast. I can't think about it. But yeah, I'll just quickly glance over a couple of things. Draft Dashboard, check them out. You can use the link down below. You're supposed to see access to my player pool. I really don't do that, but I can try and keep doing it if that's something that people want to do. I just think it's really tough for me to update it, especially 20 minutes before lock when everything changes. That being on my mind to update that is one of the last things, if I'm being completely honest. Updating everybody's projections is more so my priority for you guys who buy the projections. So Draft Dashboard, check it out. The NBA cheat sheet's good. Again, I want to give you guys as much value as possible. The things that I want to promote, as much value as possible. 30 days for $1. Or it might be free now. I don't know. It is just value, right? You're going to be spending a penny a day or 3 pennies a day, so that's not terrible. And again, if you want the projections, come over here, hit them up. We have DraftKings FanDuel. I also do coaching calls now. If you guys are interested in that, you can schedule a coaching call, so come over here, check it out. This is just supporting me to try and make this my full-time career. Look, right now, with people signing up, it's absolutely incredible. And people might be saying, oh, this isn't going to pay down your career. You're full of it. Or whatever somebody said to me on Twitter. Look, things grow. Right now we have, 21 patrons, and I prioritize those people the most right now. And then people in Discord, of course. But I prioritize those people the most because they're supporting me. Answer their questions, get them their projections as many times throughout the day. Yesterday, I think it was 4 times, even with not being around for a while. So I'm trying to prioritize you people, give you overwhelming value. And yeah, if this thing was to grow to 500 Patreons, think about that. I'm going to be quickly being able to pay off that debt. Look, that's a big number, but it's something that you just got to work towards. So that's the goal, gang. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Check out Draft Dashboard. Check out the projections if you'd like. Make sure to get in the Discord. If you're still watching and you're not in the Discord, it's one easy click below, and you click enter, and you can chat with all of us. It's just been a ton of fun. We have 163 people in here. That's ridiculous to me. It's insane. So thank you guys so much. My name's Sal. You already know that. We'll talk later. Peace.